In a remote village tucked into the Sierra Madre Mountains of Mexico, a boy named Joaquín Guzmán Lara was born into a life already decided by geography and poverty. La Tuna, his birthplace, offered little in the way of opportunity, unless you were willing to trade in poppies, marijuana, and danger. For many, the drug trade wasn't a criminal act. It was survival. Guzmán would one day be known as El Chapo, a nickname mocking his short stature, but no one would laugh for long. He would grow up to become one of the most powerful and elusive drug lords in history, shaping the global narcotics economy and challenging the very institutions designed to bring him down. Joaquín didn't finish school. Like many boys in his village, he left early to work in the drug fields, harvesting marijuana and opium poppies alongside his family. It was a generational trade, passed down, normalized, and extremely profitable. He wasn't content staying on the farm. El Chapo had ambition. He inserted himself into local criminal networks, doing favors, transporting product, building a reputation. Over time, his name made its way up the chain of command within the powerful Guadalajara cartel. He started as a fixer, a problem solver. If a shipment went missing or a courier showed weakness, Guzmán handled it, quietly, without mercy. That kind of reliability earned trust in an industry built on fear and suspicion. When the Guadalajara boss was arrested, Guzmán didn't wait for orders. He took initiative, forming a new organization that would become the Sinaloa cartel. He didn't just move drugs. He engineered distribution on an industrial scale. Planes, trains, trucks, even underground tunnels built beneath the US-Mexico border. It was a logistics empire disguised as organized crime. One event in 1993 would change everything and thrust El Chapo into national focus. Juan Jesus Posadas, the Catholic Cardinal of Guadalajara, was gunned down in broad daylight at an airport. He was waiting for a Vatican diplomat when bullets ripped through his car. The shooting left 7 dead, including the Cardinal. Authorities said it was a tragic mistake, crossfire during a failed ambush by rival cartel members who had come to kill El Chapo. But the official narrative didn't sit right. Forensics later revealed Posadas had been shot at close range, over a dozen times. Witnesses said his clerical robes made him impossible to confuse with a drug lord. Many began to suspect this was no accident. Years later, Posadas' successor would go further, accusing the Mexican state itself of orchestrating the assassination, alleging deep ties between government officials and the very cartels they claimed to oppose. The case was never truly solved, but it marked a shift. From that point on, El Chapo was no longer just a trafficker. He was a political liability, a symbol of state failure. 2 weeks after the shooting, Mexican forces arrested El Chapo, but not for murder, only for drug trafficking. He was sentenced to 20 years in a maximum security prison. In theory, he was behind bars. In reality, he was still in command. Through lawyers, bribes, and covert messages, he continued directing operations from his cell. The Sinaloa cartel not only survived his absence, it expanded. Then, in 2001, he vanished. Officially, he escaped in a laundry cart. A guard supposedly wheeled him out of the prison unnoticed, but skeptics pointed out the absurdity. The prison had motion detectors, thermal sensors, multiple checkpoints. The laundry cart story felt more like a smokescreen for systemic corruption. Some believe he simply walked out, dressed in a guard's uniform, aided by a network of paid officials. However it happened, Guzmán was free, and he wouldn't be seen again for over a decade. In the early 2000s, Mexico's cartel landscape began to shift. Leaders of the Gulf and Tijuana cartels were either arrested or killed, leaving power vacuums El Chapo was quick to exploit. With calculated brutality, he moved into contested regions like Nuevo Laredo. Fighting erupted. Civilians were caught in the crossfire. Former Mexican military officers, many trained in the U.S., became cartel enforcers. The war turned paramilitary. By 2006, Mexico's newly elected President Felipe Calderon declared open war on the cartels. He deployed the military domestically. Instead of restoring order, the violence exploded. Between 2007 and 2014, over 160,000 people were killed in drug-related violence across Mexico. Mass graves became common. Entire towns were emptied. Cartels diversified into extortion, human trafficking, and weapons dealing. And through it all, Sinaloa grew even stronger. While rival groups fractured, El Chapo built alliances. His organization became a multinational syndicate, trafficking cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl to over 50 countries. The profits reached into the billions. For a time, Forbes even listed him among the world's billionaires. Despite the chaos, no serious joint task force had been assigned to capture El Chapo. That changed when a USD agent named Andrew Hogan took an interest. With no official support team, Hogan relocated to Mexico with his family and started building a case. He and his colleagues eventually traced one of El Chapo's phones to a beach resort. They raided 3 mansions. He was there, but escaped through a tunnel just before they arrived. The same thing happened again, months later in Culiacan. Marines stormed one of his safe houses, only to find a secret passage beneath the bathtub leading to the city's sewer system. He slipped away again, but the net was tightening. Finally, in February 2014, Hogan's team tracked him to a hotel in Mazatlan. This time, there were no tunnels, no escape plans. He was with his family when the Marines burst in. He surrendered without firing a shot. After 13 years on the run, Joaquín Guzmán was once again behind bars. The Altiplano prison where El Chapo was held was supposed to be escape-proof. Concrete walls, high-tech surveillance, guards on 24-hour rotation. It wasn't enough. Over the course of a year, Guzmán's associates purchased land near the prison, built a warehouse, and began digging. They even smuggled a GPS device into his cell, disguised as food to pinpoint the tunnel's end. What they constructed was astonishing. A 1-mile tunnel reinforced with wooden beams, equipped with lighting, ventilation, and a custom motorcycle on rails to transport the dirt. And later, El Chapo himself. On July 11, 2015, security cameras captured him pacing his cell. He ducked behind a partition in the shower, then vanished. It took guards nearly 30 minutes to respond. The escape was surgical and suspicious. Inmates had reportedly complained for weeks about drilling noises beneath their cells. No one followed up. Shortly after the escape, prison officials were fired. 4 were arrested. Many believed what had always been whispered. El Chapo's power wasn't just in drugs. It was in how far his money reached. After his escape, El Chapo began acting with unexpected boldness. He made contact with Mexican actress Kate Del Castillo and American actor Sean Penn to discuss a biopic about his life. That meeting, photographed, recorded, and ultimately published in Rolling Stone, gave authorities a new trail. They began monitoring his contacts more closely. In January 2016, intelligence picked up a clue. A cartel associate had ordered tacos from a white van. Authorities traced the vehicle to a safe house. They moved in quickly. Guzmán fled once again through a secret tunnel, but was eventually caught trying to flee in a stolen car. This time, he had no backup plan. He was extradited to the United States in 2017, the one outcome he had feared most. In July 2019, Joaquín Guzmán Lara was convicted on multiple counts of drug trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus 30 years, and transferred to a DX Florence, a Colorado Supermax facility, considered the most secure prison in the world. El Chapo won't dig out of this one. No tunnels, no bribes, no escape. But while the man is gone, the machine he helped build is not. The Sinaloa cartel remains one of the most dominant criminal organizations in the world. Its networks span continents. Its profits continue to rise, and its influence in both legal and illegal spheres persists. The story of El Chapo is not just about one man's ambition. It's about what happens when institutions fail, when corruption becomes currency, and when power is measured not in votes, but in violence. This isn't just history. It's still happening.